YouTube, my name is Mesa Sean, and we are back here on Destiny 2. Alright folks, we have some new information regarding Season of the Drifter. Stuff that I did not cover in my recent live stream in the Vidoc. I will link that video in the description. We've got some clarifications on a few things. We've got a new Bungie.net blog showing off some more things from Season of the Drifter, and also the This Week at Bungie to discuss. Without further ado, let's get into it. First off, if you are behind in your power level, the new power level is going to be 700 power. There will be these surge bounties that the Drifter will offer, and that will get you up to 640 power. I wanted to kick off the video with talking about that because I have some personal friends who tapped out around the time that Black Armory hit, so this is going to be a great way to get your power level up and get in with Season of the Drifter. All of the images you're seeing in the background are from a press kit that Bungie sent me. And actually, in one of those folders, it does say under NPCs, the Stranger. In fact, in the folders, it says the Emissary, the Drifter, and the Stranger. But before we get into that, let's talk about how things are going to work within Season of the Drifter. We have a new activity called Gambit Prime. That is going to also lead into another activity called the Reckoning. The Reckoning is a PvE activity that's going to upgrade, or at least it looks like it's going to upgrade our armor to benefit us in Gambit Prime. So Gambit Prime, this little game we call Gambit has evolved. This is where you prove you're a Gambit veteran. Choose a specific combat role and build a new armor set with perks that will change the game. With only one round to choose the winner, teamwork will be king. So for the 4 different armor sets, we have the Reaper, clear waves and slay larger enemies. I like that role for myself. The Invader, hunt down your opponents and steal their motes. I'm not very good at invading, I'll stay away from that. The Collector, gather all the motes and send the blockers. I'm pretty good at that. Sentry, counter invaders and protect your bank. I think I'm okay with that. I think for me, I'm going to be more either the Reaper or the Collector. Then from there, we have a new PvE activity called the Reckoning. So winning a round of Gambit Prime is just the beginning. The Drifter has a whole new extension of the Destiny endgame. Take your rewards and risk them in a new challenge that belongs to the 9. Confront swarms of enemy to unlock greater rewards that you will take into battle. From there will be new lore, complete bounties to learn more about the 9 and their place in the universe, pinnacle PvE activity, drop into chaos and fight your way through challenging enemies, but more importantly, earn gear, unlock armor and perks that will make you the ultimate competitor in Gambit. So like Lars said on the Vidoc, well, the Reckoning goes hand in hand with Gambit Prime. Here is a look at some of the loot that you'll be grinding for within Season of the Drifter, and I gotta say, it looks really cool. I definitely like the chroma look from Destiny 1 and how it glows. My question is, how are the armor perks going to work? How they will benefit you with those 4 different types of roles within Gambit, and also the weapons. Will they be randomly rolled? Will we have curated roles? And so forth. We also have 3 pinnacle weapons, one for the Vanguard, one for the Crucible, and one for Gambit. So for the Crucible, we have the Recluse. Kills with any weapon improves this weapon's damage for a short time. So I can imagine you get a kill with the Breakneck, switch to your submachine gun. Well, actually, I don't know if this is going to be an energy one or going to be a kinetic one. Hopefully energy. Switch to the weapon, and then all of a sudden you got bonus damage. With the Oxygen SR3, Dragonfly deals more damage based on the number of precision hits made beforehand. For Gambit, we have the 21% Delirium. Kills increase this weapon's damage until it is stowed or reloaded. Now this Guardian here, wearing Shards of Galanor, and it looks like a Dead Orbit helmet, pointing the thorn at the Drifter. In the files that I received, it said, the Stranger. So I tweeted out, I think this is the Stranger. Well, Cosmo responded to me on Twitter and said, just a typo, should be fixed. So I'm going to throw it to you guys in the comment section. That's a pretty big typo to have. Do you think that's the Stranger? Or do you think Cosmo is hiding something that the Stranger will be an NPC within Season of the Drifter? So let's take a look at the roadmap for Season of the Drifter. So on March 5th, which is going to be next week, I think instead of doing a weekly reset video, I'm just going to be streaming live right here on YouTube. So we have Gambit Prime and Reckoning Tier 1. So Gambit Prime is going to have the new map, New Arcadia, and also private matches. Then on March 8th, we will have Reckoning Tier 2. March 12th, Gambit Prime on Deep 6. That will be a Titan map. On March 12th, we also get the Thorn Quest and the Allegiance Quest. And over on Bungie.net, they say, the Allegiance Quest, previously forecasted as the Joker's Wild Weekly Quest, will invite you to choose between the Vanguard and the Drifter. Pick a side to progress through the quest from their perspective. This pledge is character-based. So if you have more than one Guardian, you can play both sides. Choose wisely. March 15th, we have Invitations of the Nine and Reckoning Tier 3. Now it says on Bungie.net, Invitations of the Nine, once upon a time referred to as Xur bounties, will be an exploration of the Nine and their mysterious place in the universe. The path begins with Xur on Friday, March 15th. Annual pass owners will be able to pick up an Invitation of the Nine from Xur. Once these objectives are completed, it will transform into a bounty called Into the Unknown. These will be available to complete once per character. Similar to these bounties you got at the beginning of Forsaken for completing an activity with a full gear set. Week over week, over 9 weeks, you'll collect new lore and powerful rewards. March 19th, we get Gambit Prime over on Legion's Folly. March 26th, we get Gambit Prime on Emerald Coast. April 2nd, Gambit Prime on all maps. Then we have Shark Week on April 9th. No, that's a dumb joke. We have Arc Week on April 9th. Free to all players. At the time of recording this segment of the video, I have no idea what that is. I'm recording half of this video now, and then I am waiting for the This Week at Bungie to finish the rest of the video. Then we have the Revelry, which will be April 16th through May 6th, and that will also be free to all players. I'm wondering if SRL Sparrow Racing League is coming back. A lot of the developers on the Vidoc, they were rocking SRL shirts and hoodies and things like that, so it wouldn't surprise me if for a live event they bring that back. Would you guys want it to come back? Looking at the updated calendar, we still see 2 exotic quests, and I can't tell right now, are these going to be the same quest? The one up top is for, well, it says free seasonal updates. That's for everybody. The one on the bottom, it says annual pass content. So does that mean that the Thorn exotic quest, well, that'll be for annual pass holders, and then the free seasonal update, could that be the Rose or the precursor to the Thorn? I don't know, we'll see. Now, the This Week at Bungie just hit at the time of recording this video, so I don't want this video to drag on for too long because you guys will kill me in the comment section. Let me go through and give you the meat and potatoes, kicking it off with the details about the pinnacle weapons. We have the Vanguard pinnacle weapon, the Oxygen SR3, a precision scout rifle that will be solar. And the main unique perk is going to be Dragonfly deals more damage based on the number of precision hits made beforehand. Scout rifles have had a long history with Dragonfly and its predecessor over the history of Destiny. This weapon seeks to double down on that history and improve upon it in a simple and effective way. The general design ethos of a pinnacle weapon is that it approaches an exotic-like effect. It must work conditionally, such as activating on a kill event or asking you to risk getting into melee range. And if it works in a neutral setting, then it must only change the way you can do something, not necessarily what you can do. This is an example of the former. Next up, we have the Recluse, the lightweight submachine gun that's going to be void, and we see the Vice logo on it. So I was right before. It's going to be an energy weapon. The main perk is Master of Arms. Kills with any weapon improves this weapon's damage for a short time. Submachine guns are in a contentious spot in the game after the Forsaken release, with shotguns occupying a similar engagement range while also offering that one-shot kill potential that is so highly valued, alongside always being in competition with sidearms or even the last word as the close quarters primary weapon of choice. Submachine guns have fallen slightly to the wayside, so we created the Master of Arms perk so it could find its place in any given loadout. We look forward to seeing people experiment with it. The Gambit pinnacle weapon is called 21% Delirium. It's a rapid fire frame machine gun and it will be arc. The main perk is called Killing Tally. Kills increase this weapon's damage until it's stowed or reloaded. This will be our first rapid-fire machine gun for Destiny 2. How many of you out there guessed the archetype, but not the sub-archetype? With the reintroduction of the bullet hose style machine guns, we figured a perk that played with their large magazine sizes and dealing with waves of enemies would be appropriate. Unlike the other two weapons, this one also has one of the new weapon perks we're introducing in Season of the Drifter called Overflow, to kick the magazine size out even further for true spray and pray action. Then they go on to say, while we are on the subject of weapons, here's another preview of some changes we've made to Season of the Drifter. First off, exotic power weapons in Destiny have been the go-to for quite some time due to getting the most bang for your buck from raw damage. These changes, along with others that will be shown in the full patch notes for 2.2.0, are revealed, are intended to make legendary power weapons a good option for those who enjoy their exotic kinetic and energy weapons. We believe that the exotic you choose to run should be an expression of your playstyle rather than just math working out in your favor. Exotics will always have their unique properties, but a well-rolled legendary power weapon should be able to compete in raw damage with an exotic power weapon. Although the legendary weapon may need conditional setups and mods to outright match, nonetheless, the gap should not be so wide that you, the player, feel it necessary to run an exotic in any specific slot. And we have a few examples. Grenade launchers, PvE damage increased by 25%. They also are increasing the reserve ammo for grenade launchers, and they say the magazine perks and mods no longer affect ammo reserves. Rocket launchers are getting a big buff. PvE damage increased by 60 to 65%. Exotic rocket launchers have had their damage tuned separately. Cluster bomb, damage reduced by roughly 80%. The lost damage was moved to the rocket launcher's main projectile, as noted above in the damage increase. Here is why they're nerfing cluster bomb. They say rocket launchers were entirely too dependent on cluster bombs to be effective. This is true. I would only use rocket launchers with cluster bombs, and even then I would only use the Braytech Osprey and Sins of the past. But they said, yeah, like the full auto perk on shotguns, cluster bombs would nearly double the damage output of any given rocket launcher under optimal conditions. The result was that on any target that you could get all the cluster bombs to impact and detonate, our rocket launchers fell by the wayside pretty harshly. By moving most of the damage of cluster bombs into the rocket itself, rocket launchers will now be more reliable and more effective all around, especially against aerial targets that cluster bombs would almost never damage. Next up, we are getting some really big changes to Eververse, so let me read you this directly and then I'll weigh in on it. For the Season of the Drifter, we want to try out something new. We will be removing the prismatic matrix. Instead, every week, there will be unique bundles available that you can directly purchase with silver, allowing you to directly buy exactly the items you want. All unique bundles will also contain an exclusive vanity item available only through that weekly bundle. If you currently have any prismatic facets, you can still use them up to March 5th. At the beginning of the new season, they will turn into expired prismatic facets. They will dismantle into 150 Bright Dust. The Bright Dust storefront will also continue to offer a direct path to acquiring items found within Bright Engrams. So my question is, will only the cool stuff in terms of vanity items or emotes or ships or anything be contained in only the stuff that you can buy with real money, with silver, the bundles? Or will the Bright Dust storefront still sell cool items that's contained in the Bright Engrams? I don't know. We'll have to find out next week. You guys know me. I'll be streaming live right here on YouTube on March 5th at Reset. That is going to do it for me, guys. I'm really excited about Season of the Drifter. I was a little skeptical from not hearing any information for the past couple of weeks, but now it all makes sense. If you like Gambit, I think you're going to have a really good time. I love Gambit, so for me, this season is going to be a no-brainer for me in terms of having fun. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do me a favor, leave me a hashtag made it to the end and drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on the Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube, and that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.